Hi, this is Aaron. Based on the biblical stories and the film The Color Purple, we can see how women like Eve, Sarah, Hagar, and Sally navigate their relationships with God, patriarchy, family, and their own power to make choices. First, let's look at their experience with God. In the Garden of Eden, Eve talks directly with God but is also punished by him. Hagar has a very personal experience. When she is alone and afraid in the desert, God speaks to her, comforts her, and makes a promise about her son's future. This shows God sees and cares for an oppressed woman. In the film, The Color Purple, Sally also starts talking to God through her letters. For her, God is a silent friend who listens to her suffering. Later, her friend Shug Avery helps her to see God not as not as an old white man, but as everything that brings joy and wonder. This helps Sully feel connected to the divine in a new, more personal way, similar to Hagar's direct encounter. Patriarchy is a powerful force that controls all these women's lives. Eve is told that her husband will rule over her as a punishment. Sarah, though privileged as Abraham's wife, lives in a culture where her value is tied to bearing children. When she can't, she uses her power over her slave, Hagar, to get a son, showing how women can also uphold their unfair system. Hagar is at the very bottom, with no rights, she's a property. In the film, Sally is treated as a property by her abusive husband, who controls her life completely. She has no say in her own body or her children, much like Hagar. Family is a source of both deep pain and great strength. For Eve, family begins after she is cast out of the garden. For Sarah, family is her main goal, but she causes pain for Hagar to achieve it. Hagar's family is torn apart when she and her son are thrown out into the desert. Her story is about a mother fighting for her child's survival. In the film The Color Purple, Sally's greatest pain is being torn from her sister Nettie and her children. Her entire journey is about rebuilding her family and finding love with people who truly care for her. Finally, agency and autonomy are about a person's ability to make their own choices. Eve makes a choice to eat the fruit, seeking knowledge, even though it has a terrible consequences. Hagar shows agency by running away from her harsh mistress, Sarah. It is during this act of defiance that God finds her. Sully starts with no power at all. Over time, she finds small ways to fight back until she finally leaves Mr. that starts her own business and gains her own independence. Kimberly Rouseau's article, Wisdom in the Garden, helps us to see Eve in a new light. She argues that Eve is not just a sinner, but a seeker of wisdom. When Eve eats the fruit, she is making a choice to gain knowledge, which is a bravery act of autonomy and a desire to attain divine wisdom. Rousseau connects Eve to Sophia in the color purple, which is a wise and independent woman. Sophia is strong and defiant. She fights back against the racism and sexism that try to control her, even when it lands her in jail. Like Eve, Sophia seeks a better understanding of the world and refuses to be passive. Finally, I will compare Hagar and Sally, who are both that are cast out by their families and left powerless. Yet each has profound encounter with God that affirms their worth. Their journeys from victim to survivor show that even in oppression, women can still find strength and reclaim their freedom.